I caught my fiancée with my adoptive brother before our wedding. I left, rebuilt my life. And 5 years later, they came back before my new wedding. 5 years ago, I walked in on my fiancée in bed with my adoptive brother the night before our wedding. She looked at me through tears and said, "You were never the man I wanted to marry." He was, so I left. I left the apartment, the wedding, the family, the city, and every version of myself that still thought those people deserved a place in my life. I rebuilt everything from the ground up: my business, my future, and eventually, my ability to trust someone again. But 5 years later, just days before my new wedding, the past decided it wanted back in. Before I get to the chaos, I need to start at the beginning of the end. The burner number appeared on my phone at 4:10 on a Wednesday evening, 2 weeks before my wedding. I was at my desk in the back office of my warehouse, finishing purchase orders for a hotel chain contract in Seattle, when my phone buzzed against the metal surface. Unknown number, Portland area code. I stared at it for a second before opening it. Normal people did not use unknown numbers anymore. Scammers did. Robocall operations did. Debt collectors did. And people who knew you had blocked them everywhere else did. The message loaded slowly, almost like my phone was trying to warn me. "Ryan, it's me. I saw your engagement announcement in the business magazine. We need to talk before you make another mistake. Please. This is important." The office suddenly felt too small. I read the message again to make sure I was not imagining it, but I knew exactly who me was before I even finished the first sentence. Monica. I had not heard from that woman in 5 years. Not one word, not a call, not an email, not a message passed through mutual friends, not even a LinkedIn connection request. Just complete radio silence. And there was a very good reason for that. I screenshotted the message automatically. I did not even think about it. It was muscle memory by then, built from years of dealing with people who would not take no for an answer, and people who later claimed they never said the things they absolutely said. Evidence mattered, always. Then I walked out of the office and into the warehouse, past the rows of equipment, until I found my soon-to-be wife, Claire, in the cupping lab. She was evaluating coffee samples, tasting spoon in hand, when she looked up and saw my face. She set the spoon down immediately. "What happened?" I handed her my phone. Claire read the message once. Then she read it again. She did not react emotionally. She did not gasp or start asking panicked questions. She just looked at the screen with that focused, analytical expression I loved about her. Claire was a civil litigation attorney. To her, everything was evidence and strategy. "Burner number," she said. "Which means she knows you blocked her. And she knows your engagement went public because of that business journal profile last week." I nodded. Pacific Northwest Business Magazine had run a profile on Northwest Coffee Systems, my company. The article mentioned my engagement to Claire. It even included a photo of us together at a charity event. Monica must have seen it and spiraled. "You want to respond?" Claire asked, handing the phone back to me. "No," I said. "Absolutely not." Then I looked down at the message again. But she's not going to stop with one text. She never stops there. "Probably not," Claire said. She pulled out her own phone and started typing. "Screenshot everything. If she escalates, we'll need documentation for a restraining order." Then she looked up at me. "You owe her nothing, Ryan. Not an explanation. Not closure. Not a conversation. You control this. Not her." I nodded. "Understood." I kissed her forehead. "Understood." We went back to work. I wrapped up the purchase orders and drove home, but I kept checking my phone. That message sat heavy in my chest. Not because I wanted to answer it, and not because I felt conflicted, but because I knew exactly what kind of person had sent it. Sure enough, 2 hours later, another message came in. "I know you saw this. I know you read it. I deserve a chance to explain what really happened. 5 years is a long time. People change. I've changed. Please give me a chance to make this right before you make another commitment." I sent it to Claire. She replied almost immediately. "She's building toward a bigger ask. Keep ignoring her. Let her show her full hand." That night, I barely slept. Not because I missed Monica. Not because I wondered whether I had made the wrong choice. Monica and I were finished the moment I walked in on her with my adoptive brother Tyler in our bed the night before our wedding. I could not sleep because that old night started replaying in my head again. The night that forced me to burn my life down and start over from scratch. 5 years earlier, Monica and I were supposed to get married on a Saturday in June. The venue was a restored barn outside Seattle. The deposit alone had been $8,200. My charcoal suit was hanging in the hotel closet. Her dress was at her parents' house. Both families had flown in. 140 guests were expected. We had been together for 4 years. High school sweethearts who made it through college, through real jobs, through growing up, through all the things people said destroyed young relationships. I thought I knew her. The night before the wedding, I was staying at the Marriott downtown with 5 groomsmen. It was the standard bachelor party setup: dinner at a steakhouse, drinks at a bar, poker back at the hotel. I was in bed by 11 because I wanted to be sharp for the ceremony the next day. I was almost asleep when I remembered something small. The backup wedding band was still at our apartment. The jeweler had given us a spare, and I had left it in my nightstand drawer. It was not a disaster. It was just one of those last-minute wedding details. Drive over, grab it, come back. I got dressed quietly, left a note for my best man, and drove to our apartment. I let myself in with my key just before 1:00 the morning. The lights were on. The living room and the bedroom were both lit, and at first I figured Monica was up late with her bridesmaids doing some last-minute prep. But then I noticed the coffee table. 2 wine glasses. Only 2. That was weird. Then I heard voices from the bedroom. Her voice. And a man's voice. Then I heard her laugh. Not her normal laugh. That breathy laugh I thought was just for me. I walked down the hallway. The bedroom door was cracked open. I pushed it wider. Monica was in our bed with Tyler, my adoptive brother. Both of them were naked. They were not scrambling to cover themselves. They were not panicking the way people panic when they are caught in something they thought was hidden. When they saw me, they looked almost like they had been expecting this moment. Tyler did not even look embarrassed. He sat up slowly, arrogant as always. Monica pulled the sheet up and started crying, saying my name over and over. I just stood there, trying to process what I was seeing. There were wine glasses on both nightstands. The bottle was sitting on my dresser. They had been drinking wine in my bed the night before my wedding. Something inside me snapped. I crossed the room, grabbed Tyler by the arm, and yanked him out of the bed. He stumbled. I shoved him hard toward the wall. He hit the dresser, and the corner caught him in the ribs. He made this winded, gasping sound. "Ryan, wait," he started. I hit him. One clean punch to the jaw. A straight shot. His head snapped sideways, and he dropped. He was not unconscious. Just down, holding his face. Monica screamed. Someone in the apartment next door started pounding on the wall. I stepped back, breathing hard. Tyler was on the floor, blood starting to drip from his split lip. Monica was sobbing into the sheet. "Ryan, please," she said. "Let me explain." "Explain what?" My voice came out flat. "You've been sleeping with my brother in our bed the night before our wedding. What is there to explain?" "It's not like that." "It is exactly like that," I said. Then I asked the question I did not actually want answered. "How long?" She did not answer. "How long, Monica?" Tyler answered from the floor. 3 months. 3 months. While we were planning the wedding. While we were sending invitations. While her parents were making toasts about how perfect we were together. While I was standing beside her, thinking I was building a future with someone who loved me. "Why?" I asked. Monica looked at me through tears. "I never wanted to marry you," she said. "I wanted him. I've always wanted him." That sentence hit harder than any punch ever could. The wedding was supposed to happen the next day. 140 people. Both of our families, a venue, a dress, a suit, a whole life waiting at the end of an aisle. And she was telling me I had never really been the groom. I turned to Tyler. He was standing now, still holding his jaw. "Get out," I said. "This is between you and Monica," he said. I said, "Get out." He looked at Monica like he was waiting for her to stop him. She said nothing. He grabbed his clothes and left. Monica was still crying. Someone was knocking on the apartment door now. Building security, probably because of the noise. I walked to my nightstand and grabbed the backup ring I had come there for in the first place. Then I opened the drawer on Monica's side. The engagement ring I had given her 2 years earlier was sitting in a ring dish. She had taken it off before she climbed into bed with my brother. I picked it up. Platinum band. 1-carat diamond. It had cost me $7,400. "Ryan," Monica said. "That's mine." "No," I said. "It's not. You don't get to keep it after what you did." I pocketed both rings and walked to the door. When I opened it, a security guard was standing there, confused and unsure what he had stepped into. "Everything okay here?" "No," I said. "But I'm leaving. They're all yours." Then I got in my car and drove. I did not go back to the hotel. I just drove around for hours through empty streets, with nobody around and nothing in my head except the image of my fiancée in our bed with my brother. By 4:00 the morning, I had made my decisions. I sat in a diner parking lot and started making calls. First, I called the venue and got their emergency line. I canceled the wedding and told them to keep the $8,200 deposit. Then I opened my laptop, connected to the diner's Wi-Fi, and sent a mass email to all 140 guests. "Wedding canceled. Sorry for the hassle. If you have travel expenses, send me receipts. By 6, I was back at the hotel. My groomsmen were still asleep. I packed my 2 suitcases, left a note, checked out, and walked away. By 10, I was on I-5, driving south toward Portland. It was a 4-hour drive, and my college buddy Nathan had been begging me for months to move down there and start a business with him. I had kept telling him no because I had a life in Seattle. I had Monica. I had a future planned. By that morning, none of that existed anymore. My phone was exploding. Monica called 31 times. Tyler called 19 times. I ignored all of them. Then my dad called. I figured I owed him that much, so I answered. Ryan, what the hell is going on? He said. Monica's parents just called me. They said you canceled the wedding. Yeah, I said. I canceled it. Why? I walked in on Monica and Tyler last night, I said, in our bed. So there's not going to be a wedding. There was a long silence. Then he said, Son, I'm sure there's an explanation. Maybe you misunderstood. I didn't misunderstand anything. They admitted it has been going on for 3 months. Tyler made a mistake, Dad said. These things happen. You can't just, are you serious right now? You're embarrassing the family, Dad said, and his voice got harder. People are asking questions. The guests are confused. We need to manage this. You can't just run away. That was when I understood. He was not worried about me. He was worried about how it looked. Tyler was his adopted son from his second marriage after my mother died. And in my dad's eyes, Tyler could do no wrong. I'm not managing anything, I said. I'm done with Monica, with Tyler, and with all of this. Ryan, you need to come back. No, I said. I'm leaving Seattle. Do not contact me about this again. I hung up, turned my phone completely off, and kept driving south. The first year in Portland was brutal. Nathan and I started the business together. Commercial coffee equipment for restaurants and hotels. Machines and systems, not running the actual coffee shops. When I showed up with 2 suitcases, Nathan looked shocked. Wedding's off, I said. You still want to start that business? Yeah, he said. Then let's do it. I've got $12,000 saved. How much do you have? About $11,000. So, we started in Nathan's garage with $23,000 between us. Our first client was Nathan's neighbor, who owned a small restaurant. We made maybe $400 in profit, but they told their friends. I worked 1 6-hour days because when I stopped moving, I started thinking. And when I started thinking, I saw that bedroom again. So I worked. I worked until I was too exhausted to feel anything. 8 months in, we landed our first real contract. A boutique hotel chain needed coffee systems for 6 locations. $67,000. That contract changed everything. We hired employees. We moved into a warehouse. We started manufacturing custom equipment instead of just sourcing and installing machines. By year 3, we were on the Portland Business Journal's fastest-growing companies list. Last year, I bought out Nathan's share for $215,000 when he decided he wanted to step back. He stayed on as a consultant. We expanded to 3 locations, 47 employees, and $1.8 million in revenue. The business proved I could make something work. But personally, I was lonely. I dated occasionally, but I never let anyone get too close. Then I met Claire. That was 2 years ago, and it was not exactly a meet-cute. One of my subcontractors screwed up an install at a high-end restaurant. He used the wrong voltage on the espresso machine and fried the whole system. The restaurant sued everyone involved, including my company. Claire was representing the restaurant. She walked into that room and tore apart every defense my lawyer put up. It took 3 hours. She stayed calm the whole time, which somehow made it worse. By the end, I knew we were settling. Final number was $38,000. After we signed the paperwork, I asked her to dinner. She looked at me like I was insane and said no. 2 weeks later, I ran into her at a restaurant and asked again. She said no again. But this time she smiled. The third time I asked was at a networking event. She laughed and said, "You don't give up, do you?" "I'm persistent when something matters." "Okay," she said, "but only because you've been respectful about it." That first dinner lasted 4 hours. By our third date, Claire asked me directly, "So what made you move to Portland?" We were at her apartment. She had cooked dinner. I told her everything. The wedding. The night before. Walking in on Monica and Tyler. The punch. My dad taking Tyler's side. Leaving Seattle. Building the business from nothing. I expected her to pull away. I expected that look people get when they realize the person sitting across from them comes with more damage than they signed up for. Instead, Claire said, "Sounds like you made the right call. You don't think it's too much baggage?" "Everyone has baggage," she said. "Some things you can't fix. You just survive them. Sounds like you handled it." You seem functional to me. Functional is generous, I said. I still check the locks 3 times before bed. That doesn't make you broken, she said. Just careful. That was when I knew. We had been together for 2 years by the time Monica's message arrived. Claire had seen me on the bad days. She never pushed me to talk. She never pushed me to forgive. She was just steady, present, and clear. 3 months before Monica reached out, I proposed. I took Claire to an overlook outside Portland, got down on one knee, and asked her to marry me. She said yes before I even finished the question. We planned a small wedding. About 50 people, a private estate venue, good security, no family drama, just us and the people who actually mattered. Then Monica's burner text showed up, and the messages did not stop. Over the next 3 days, Monica sent 6 more texts from different burner numbers. I just need 5 minutes to explain. Tyler and I aren't together anymore. It didn't mean anything. That one almost made me laugh. 5 years earlier, it had been, I've always wanted him. Now it was, it didn't mean anything. She was changing the story depending on what she needed. Then came the one that showed her hand. You took the ring when you left. I need it back. I stared at that message and actually laughed out loud. She wanted the ring back. Claire read through everything with me. She's building toward a demand, she said. She thinks she's owed something. She's not getting anything from me. I know, Claire said. But she doesn't know that yet. 2 days later, Monica called my office. My assistant, Jenna, answered. I need to speak with Ryan, Monica said. It's urgent. Can I ask what this is regarding? It's personal. Just tell him, Monica called. Jenna came to my office afterward. Someone named Monica called for you. Said it was personal. If she calls again, don't put her through, I said. Just take a message and throw it away. The next day, Monica showed up at my office. I was in a meeting when Jenna knocked on the door. There's a woman in the lobby, she said. Her name is Monica. She says she needs to see you. I walked out to the lobby. Monica was sitting there, nervous as hell, but trying very hard to look strong. When she saw me, she stood up too quickly. Ryan, thank you for seeing me. I'm not seeing you, I said. I'm asking you to leave. Just let me explain. No, you need to leave my office now. Ryan, please. I flew up here to talk to you. I didn't ask you to do that. I need closure, she said. And I need the ring back. That ring was mine. You had no right to take it. There it was, the real reason. The ring wasn't yours, I said. You destroyed that when you slept with Tyler. I paid for half the wedding, Monica said, her voice getting louder. That ring should be mine. The ring stays with me. Now leave before I call security. You're making a mistake, Monica said, tears forming in her eyes. Claire doesn't know you like I do. You're rushing into this. You haven't dealt with what happened. You're still messed up from it. I need you to leave. Monica stared at me, then turned toward Jenna. You should know your boss stole from me, she said. He took my engagement ring. I'm considering legal action. Jenna did not flinch. You should leave now, she said calmly, or I'm calling security. Monica grabbed her purse and left. That evening, I told Claire everything. She came to your office demanding the ring? Claire asked. Yeah. And threatened legal action? Yeah. 2 days later, Monica showed up at my house. She demanded the ring again and threatened to file a police report. I stood in the doorway and did not let her step inside. The ring was a conditional gift, I said. We didn't get married. It's mine. Now get off my property. You've changed, she said. When your perfect wedding falls apart, you're going to wish you had been kinder. I closed the door and called Claire. She was at the house within the hour. I'm drafting a cease and desist tonight, she said. She came home, opened her laptop, and spent 2 hours on it. The letter was couriered to Monica the next morning. That should have been the end of it. It was not. That night, Monica showed up at Nathan's office. Nathan had stayed on as a consultant after selling me his share, and he was working late when she walked in. I'm looking for Ryan, she said. He's not here, Nathan said. He knew the whole story. Can you give him a message? No. Please. I'm worried about him. I think he's rushing into this wedding. Nathan stood up. You need to leave now, or I'm calling security. Monica left, but Nathan called me immediately. By then, the pattern was obvious. Monica was not looking for closure. She was trying to create openings. Office, house, business partner, anything that might force me to respond. 4 days before the wedding, my dad called. We had not spoken in 5 years, not since he took Tyler's side after the first wedding collapsed. So when his name appeared on my caller ID, I almost did not answer. Claire was sitting next to me. I looked at her. She looked at the screen, then back at me. I answered. Ryan, my dad said. His voice sounded tired. Tyler told me you're getting married this weekend. I did not answer. I just waited. I think we should talk face to face, he said. Man to man. Clear the air. There's nothing to clear. Son, I know things ended badly, but you're still my son. Let's talk. Just coffee tomorrow afternoon? That place on Morrison you used to like? He sounded like he had practiced every word. Why now? I asked. Because family matters. And because I've been thinking about what happened. I want to make things right. Claire mouthed one word. Trap. Fine, I said. 2 o'clock. But if this is an ambush, I'm walking out. It's just coffee, Dad said. I promise. I hung up. Claire looked at me. You know he's lying, right? Yeah, I said. But I want to see what he's actually after. The next afternoon, I drove to the coffee shop on Morrison Street. I walked in exactly at 2. My dad was sitting at a corner table, and beside him was Tyler. I should have seen that coming. For half a second, I almost turned around and left. But something in me wanted to hear it. I wanted to know what kind of excuse they had carried for 5 years. I walked over and sat down. I did not order anything. Ryan, Dad said. Thanks for coming. You said it was just you. Tyler wanted to be here. We both want to talk. Tyler looked different. Thinner. Older. His suit looked cheap, like he had bought confidence off a clearance rack and it did not fit. So talk, I said. Dad cleared his throat. Look, there has been tension in the family, but we're still family. That has to count for something. I've been thinking about what happened 5 years ago. I didn't handle it well. It was a difficult situation for everyone. Difficult situation, I repeated. That's what you're calling it? I'm calling it a mistake, Dad said. One that Tyler regrets. One we need to move past. There is no family, I said. Not anymore. Tyler finally spoke. Ryan, I know what I did was wrong. I've lived with that guilt for 5 years. But I've grown. I've changed. And I think we can move forward if you're willing. Move forward how? Tyler glanced at Dad. I'm working on a restaurant tech startup, Tyler said. It has real potential, but I need capital and connections in the hospitality industry. Dad mentioned you're doing well. I was hoping we could partner. You invest, I execute, we split the profits, and it gives us a chance to rebuild our relationship. There it was. Not guilt. Not apology. A pitch. How much? I asked. $80,000 to start, Tyler said, and a path to VP of operations in your company for credibility while I'm building the startup. I looked at my dad. And you're backing this? I think it's a good opportunity, Dad said. Tyler has the vision. You have the capital. It makes sense. Family, I said. Right. I stood up. Ryan, wait. Dad started. No, I said. I'm not doing this. You don't get to blow up my life. Take his side, cut me off, and then show up 5 years later asking for money. It's not charity, Tyler said, his voice sharpening. It's a business opportunity. I don't want your equity. I don't want your partnership. I don't want anything from either of you. You're being unreasonable, Dad said, standing too. We're trying to make peace here. No, you're not. You're trying to collect. You saw I'm successful, and now you want a piece of it. The coffee shop had gone quiet. Tyler stood up, his face red. You think you're better than us now? He said. You think because you have money you can cut us out? Dad chose me 5 years ago. He always does. You were always the backup. There it was, the thing he had probably wanted to say for years. I looked at him. I didn't cut you out, I said. You burned the bridge. Both of you. I'm just refusing to build a new one. I turned to leave. That was when Claire walked in. She had been waiting in the car. She walked straight up to the table. We done here? She asked. Yeah, I said. We're done. Claire looked at my dad. You didn't come here as family. You came to collect. He doesn't owe you access. He doesn't owe you money. He doesn't owe you anything. Do not contact him again. Then she looked at Tyler. And you. If you show up at our wedding, you'll be arrested for trespassing. We've already filed the paperwork. Security has your photo. Test us if you want. We walked out together. In the car, Claire asked. Feel better? Yeah, I said. Now I know exactly what they wanted. Makes what happens next easier. What happens next? They're going to show up anyway, I said. They just proved they think they're entitled to access. Good, Claire said. Then we'll be ready. 2 days before the wedding, I got a follow-up email from Tyler. You're making a mistake. We're family. You'll regret cutting us out. I forwarded it to Claire without responding. She replied, adding it to the file. The wedding was at a private estate outside the city. Small venue, controlled access, strict guest list. The owner, Robert, was a former client who had become a friend. He knew the situation and had offered to help with security. We gave security a list of people who were explicitly banned. Monica, Tyler, my dad. We included photos and told them that if any of those people showed up, they were to deny entry immediately and call police if they refused to leave. Our attorney had also drawn up trespass notices in advance. The night before the wedding, I looked at the file and said, "This feels excessive." "It's not," Claire said. "These people think they're entitled to access. They're going to test us. We're ready." She was right. The wedding was scheduled for 3:00 the afternoon on Saturday. I was inside the estate with my groomsmen, getting ready, adjusting ties and putting on boots, when my phone buzzed at 2:10. It was a text from Robert, the security coordinator and estate owner. "Your father just arrived at the main gate. He's demanding entry. Currently being denied." I called Claire immediately. "My dad's here," I said. "At the gate." "Stay inside," she said, her voice firm. "Don't go out there. Don't engage. Let security handle it exactly as we planned." "No," I said. There was silence. "What do you mean, no?" "I mean, I'm not letting them turn my wedding into a theater show where I hide backstage," I said. "I'm coming down. I'm not touching anyone. I'm not arguing. I'm ending it." Claire exhaled once. Controlled, annoyed, not surprised. "Fine," she said. "Then you follow rules. You stay behind security. One statement. No back and forth. You do not let them bait you." "I won't," I said. "I'll bury them with a sentence and walk away." I hung up and looked at Eric, my best man. "We're going to the gate," I said. Eric grinned like he had been waiting for permission. "Yeah," he said. "Let's do it." Robert met us inside the front corridor, with 2 guards already moving into position. He took one look at my face. "You sure?" he asked. "I've never been more sure," I said. "Let's go." We walked down toward the entrance like we owned the ground under our feet. Because we did. Security spread out in front of us. Clean formation, calm posture. No chaos, no panic, just control. My dad was already at the gate in an expensive suit, performing entitlement like it was a job title. "This is ridiculous," he was saying. "I'm his father. Open the gate." "You're on the do not admit list, sir," Marcus, one of the guards, said evenly. Then Tyler's car rolled in behind him, half blocking the lane like traffic laws were optional when his ego showed up. Tyler got out yelling before his door even closed. "I'm the groom's brother. Open the gate." "You're also on the do not admit list," the second guard said. Tyler laughed, loud and stupid. "That's pathetic. Ryan owes me. I helped raise him. This is family business." That was when I stepped into view behind the security line. I was not rushing. I was not being dramatic. I was just there. Tyler saw me and smiled like he had won something. My dad turned quickly, switching faces instantly, trying to look like a proud father instead of a man attempting to force his way into a wedding where he was not wanted. "Ryan," he said, warm voice, public-facing voice. "Son, come on, don't do this. It's your wedding day." I looked at him like he was a stranger trying to use an old nickname. "You're not here as my father," I said, calm and loud enough to carry. "You're here to be seen as my father. Big difference." His smile tightened. "Ryan," he said again, like repeating my name made him right. "Let's not do this in front of—" "In front of who?" I cut in. "The guards you're trying to bully? The cops you're about to meet? Or the family you only remember exists when there's an audience?" Tyler grabbed the gate bars. "Bro, stop acting." "Don't call me that," I said, still calm. "You lost the right to that word in my bedroom." Tyler's face twitched. My dad took another step toward the gate. "We can talk for 5 minutes," he said. "Just 5 minutes. That's all." "No," I said. "You're not getting 5 minutes. You're getting a boundary. This gate is your closure." Then Claire stepped up beside me. Her wedding dress was perfect. Her expression was sharper than a blade. Robert stood at her shoulder. She did not speak yet. She did not need to. She just stood there like a stamped document. My dad tried to pivot to her. "Claire," he said smoothly, "there seems to be a misunderstanding. I just want to see my son on his wedding day." Claire's eyes did not move from him. "There's no misunderstanding," I said. "You were told not to come. You came anyway. That's not love. That's entitlement." Tyler scoffed. "You really going to let her run your life like this?" I stared at him for one beat. Then I said, "My life doesn't have room for a man who sleeps with brides and then asks for a paycheck." That landed. Tyler's jaw flexed. My dad's face went hard. "You think you're better than us now?" Tyler snapped. "I don't think it," I said. "I built proof." Tyler pointed at the gate like it had personally offended him. "Open it. We're family." "You want family?" I said. "Try not betraying it. Start there." Then Monica's car pulled up. She parked on the grass because Tyler had blocked the drive. Of course he did. Monica got out in a cocktail dress, already crying, loud and theatrical before she had even taken 3 steps. "Ryan!" she shouted toward the property. "Ryan, please! I just need to talk to you." Claire finally turned her head. "You were served a cease and desist letter 4 days ago," Claire said, crisp and cold. "You signed for it. You were warned. The police are already on their way." Monica ignored her and locked onto me like Claire was not even standing there. "Ryan," she cried, "I just need closure, and I need my ring back. You can't keep my ring." I did not raise my voice. "Monica," I said. Her name cut through her, sobbing like a knife. "Your closure happened 5 years ago in my bed with my brother. The door is closed, the gate is locked. That's the ending." Her face twisted. "That ring was mine." "No," I said. "It was a symbol. You pawned the meaning the night you climbed into my sheets with him." Tyler snarled. "This is insane." "No," I said, turning my eyes to him. "What's insane is you standing there after what you did, and still thinking you're owed anything except consequences." Monica tried again, desperate now. "I'm struggling. You need to stop showing up where you're not wanted," I said. "You want money? Get it from the man you always wanted." That hit her hard. Her mouth opened, then shut. Tyler's face went red hot. He grabbed the gate bars again, like he could bend reality with his hands. "Move," he said to the guards. Then he tried to climb. He actually tried to force his way over the gate. Marcus and the second guard yanked him down. Tyler shoved Marcus hard in the chest. Major mistake. Sirens rolled in not long after. They were close enough that Tyler's little stunt looked even dumber in real time. 2 Portland Police Patrol cars arrived within minutes, 4 officers total. Robert spoke with them first, then handed over the paperwork. The do not admit list with photos, written trespass notices, the cease and desist, message threats, everything. Then the officers approached the gate. My dad took one look at the uniforms and the documentation and did what he always did. He protected his image. He did not apologize. He did not argue. He just got in his car and left quietly, like he had never been there. Tyler was not smart enough for that, he argued. He postured. He tried the family line again. The officers warned him twice. On the 3rd escalation, they cuffed him. Tyler was cited for criminal trespass in the 2nd degree, disorderly conduct, and interfering with an officer. They walked him to the patrol car and loaded him into the back seat. Monica tried to plead. "I just wanted to talk," she said, crying softer now. "I'm not a criminal." The officer cited her for criminal trespass and told her to leave immediately or she would be arrested too. She left, got in her car, and drove away. The whole incident, from start to finish, took 27 minutes. When it was done, I did not feel shaken. I felt clean. I turned away from the gate before any of them could say one more word. Claire walked beside me. Eric and Robert followed behind us. Back in the groom's suite, Claire looked at my face like she was verifying something. "You got what you needed?" she asked. "Yeah," I said. "They heard me." Claire nodded once. "It's handled," she said. "They're gone. Security is resetting the entrance. We're getting married in 23 minutes, exactly as planned." I straightened my jacket and smirked once. "Perfect," I said. "Let's get married." The ceremony went off perfectly. We got married exactly on time at 3. There were about 50 people there, and every single one of them was someone who actually supported us and wanted to be there. No drama after the gate incident. No chaos. No screaming. No ghosts from the past trying to make themselves important. Just us, standing in front of the people we loved, making a choice to build a life together. During our first dance, Claire whispered, "No regrets about anything today?" "None," I said honestly. 3 days after the wedding, while Claire and I were packing for our honeymoon, our attorney filed restraining order petitions against both Monica and Tyler. Claire had everything organized. Police reports from the wedding crash, the office confrontation, the home confrontation, the cease and desist violation, the threatening messages, security footage, every piece of documentation in one clean file. The judge granted temporary emergency orders immediately. Neither Monica nor Tyler showed up to the scheduled hearing, so the orders became final by default. 3-year stay away and no contact orders. 500 feet minimum distance. 0 communication allowed. Any violation meant arrest. Tyler got served at work in front of his boss and coworkers, and he was fired that same afternoon. Monica was served at the retail store where she worked, just as public and just as humiliating. My dad received permanent trespass paperwork from the estate, barring him from the property. Through my cousin, I heard the fallout. Tyler's fiancée dumped him within a week after seeing the real police reports and the restraining order details. She packed up and disappeared while he was at work, blocked him everywhere, and left him to deal with the mess he had created. He lost his job. Then he lost his apartment because he could not afford rent without his fiancée's income. Last I heard through my cousin, he had moved 2 states away to Arizona to stay with a friend and start over. Monica moved back to her hometown, 2 hours south. She was working retail at a department store and had deleted all of her social media accounts after the restraining order became public through court records. Her reputation in her hometown was apparently destroyed. People talk. My dad sent a card 2 weeks after the wedding. It was a standard congratulations card from a grocery store. All it said was, "Congratulations on your marriage," with his signature underneath. No apology, no acknowledgement of what had happened, no recognition of what he had tried to do at my wedding. I threw it in the trash without reading beyond the signature. A month later, my cousin Jennifer called me with information I had suspected but never proven. "I need to tell you something," Jennifer said, "about your dad. About what happened 5 years ago." "Say it." There was a beat of silence. "Your dad knew," she said. "Before your wedding. He knew about Monica and Tyler." Something clicked into place inside me. Clean and ugly. "Of course he did," I said. "Ryan." "No," I cut in. "Tell me exactly what he knew," Jennifer swallowed. "Tyler told him about a week before your wedding. He went to your dad for advice. He said he had been sleeping with your fiancée, but he didn't know how to end it without causing a scene. Your dad told him to be discreet and figure it out quietly after the wedding. He told Tyler to let the wedding happen and deal with it later." I let that sit for a moment like a verdict. "So he didn't just pick Tyler after the fact," I said. "He covered for him before it blew up. He was fine letting me walk down an aisle into a lie." "Yeah," Jennifer said quietly. "He chose Tyler before you even knew there was a choice to make." "I'm sorry. I thought you deserved to know." "Thanks," I said. "Now I know what he is." When we hung up, it was not grief I felt. It was clarity. My dad had not just taken Tyler's side after I caught them. He had been an accomplice before I ever opened that bedroom door. He had watched me plan a wedding, spend money, invite family, and build a future while knowing exactly what Tyler and Monica were doing behind my back. That was not a mistake. That was a decision. And it told me everything I needed to know about who he had always been. Too little, too late for him to fix any of it now. Claire and I got back from our honeymoon in Costa Rica last week. Life is good. The business is growing faster than expected. We are in negotiations for a major contract with a national hotel chain. 300 locations. Biggest deal in company history. We are also closing on a house in the West Hills next month. 4 bedrooms, room for kids eventually. Then last week, I got a message from yet another burner number. Just 3 words. "I'm sorry, Ryan." After 5 years of silence, after the wedding crash, after restraining orders and criminal citations, Monica was still trying to reach through the boundary, like it did not apply to her. I screenshotted it and sent it to Claire with one line. "She's at it again." Claire forwarded it to our attorney within minutes with a formal note. "Potential restraining order violation via proxy contact. Document for case file. Prepare violation motion if pattern continues. Recommend immediate response." Then she texted me. "Send me the number. I'm blocking it too. Do not respond. Do not engage. We handle this through legal channels." Our attorney sent Monica's attorney a formal warning letter that same day. Any further attempt at contact, whether through burner phones, third parties, social media, email, or anything else, would be treated as a willful violation of the restraining order and would trigger criminal contempt proceedings and possible jail time. I did not respond. I did not entertain it. I did not give her a single pixel of access. I let the system do what it was built to do. The attorney also sent copies of the violation attempt to the court and the Portland police for documentation. If she tries again, we file the violation, and she stops getting warnings and starts getting consequences. Claire and I have moved on. We are finalizing that national hotel chain contract next week. 300 locations. The biggest deal my company has ever had. We are closing on the West Hills house next month. 4 bedrooms. Space for the life we actually want to build. They tried to ruin my wedding. They failed. And if they try again, they will not get a conversation. They will get handcuffs,